You're listening to Leader Tribe, where leaders are made daily, but never in a day. We're talking skills that are relevant, researched, and ready for action. Apply these and you will grow. Here's your daily dose of growth with Dr. Rob McClelland.
Hello, Leader Tribers. Welcome to a brand new week. This is, in fact, your daily dose of growth with Dr. Rob McClelland. I trust you are doing fantastic today. It is a great day to be alive, and we are going to continue making progress. We're wrapping up this week an unbelievably fun and good series. In my mind, it was Amy Moran's 13 Things Mentally Strong People Don't Do. And so we're going to finish a couple of those today, Numbers 12 and 13. 12 today, 13 tomorrow, and then a couple surprises for the end of the week related to the same subject matter. So, hope you're enjoying this. Today, mentally strong people don't believe that the world owes them something. Here's what Amy writes. We'd like to think that if we put in enough hard work or tough it out through bad times, then we deserve success. But waiting for the world to give you what you think you're owed? That's what she writes. Waiting for the world to give you what you think you owed isn't a productive life strategy. Amen, sister. I wish Amy was here. I'd give her a hug right now. The whole idea that, I'm waiting for somebody to give us what we think we deserve as far as some reward or kudos or something, not a productive life strategy. It's just so funny that she uses those words, which I love, by the way. But I'd go, it's stupid, you're an ignoramus, it's not going to happen, come on, stop thinking that way. But I love Amy, she's so nice, she goes, it isn't a productive life strategy. Hey, she continues and she says, take notice of times when you feel as though you deserve something better. Intentionally focus. Did you hear that? Intentionally focus. Let me hit that one more time. Intentionally focus on all that you have to give rather than what you think you deserve. Regardless of whether you think you've been dealt a fair hand in life, you have gifts to share with others. Hey, the most miserable people in the world, you know who they are? The people who go around comparing themselves with others and thinking, I've worked just as hard as them, I deserve the success they have. But usually, those same people are defining success in terms of some material benefit. And so you are looking out at what other people have as far as material success, and you're thinking, I deserve that as well. I've worked harder. And the answer is, no, you don't. And what's so funny about material success, and as one of the things that I think you know at Leader Tribe, one of the things I do apart as far as earning a living is I help business owners sell their businesses for maximum value. I don't actually do the deal. What I do is give them the information that is just kind of mind-blowing information, stuff you would have never thought of in a million years. As far as when I sell my small business or a big business, 1 million businesses up to 50 million in annual sales, but certainly those 25 and below, that's about 80% of all the business deals that are done in mergers and acquisitions in the given year. But when you have somebody who begins to prepare their business for sale, there are a couple of just critical factors that could be the difference between 20, 30, 40, 50% of the sale price. One of those is the timing of the sale and where the market cycles are. Another one of those has to do with the types of buyers that you're getting into your buyer pool. Why do I mention things like that right now on this? Because material success, you can work really hard, end up selling your business and not get nearly as much money as that you were hoping for because you make a couple of critical errors. And they're things that if you don't buy and sell businesses for a living, if don't know the professional process that you use in mergers and acquisitions, you're going to miss these things. And so what happens is this person worked super hard. They quote unquote deserve success. But somebody else who maybe didn't work as hard, their business wasn't as good, but they got a couple of those things right. They get far more money and they appear more successful. Can you see why just comparing yourself to others and looking at material success, that is a game for losers? Let me say that again. If that's who you are a loser. And when it comes to that, if you are comparing yourself to all the people who look beautiful on Facebook, you're a loser, because you're going to get depressed and you're going to think that you deserve that, or you deserve that the world owes you something. Hey, I have a huge problem with people who think I deserve success. I don't have any problem with people who work hard and earn success in life. And I want to say kudos to them. And those are the ones that I want to help. I want to get the right information to if they don't have it. But those are the people who are going to make a difference in life. Hey, kind of a crazy podcast that took a different direction than I thought. And it's because my heart for people who are selling their businesses or making decisions in life to make the kind of decisions that set them up for success. There are always these critical things that you have to learn. And I want to learn those from the people who are the best in those types of industries. And so even if I was looking at what education program should I get into, I don't want to get into some program just based on, I saw a really cool website and they had cool pictures and this looks great. But finding out from industry insiders and talking to people and making sure the reason I'm doing it and what I'm doing are going to be awesome. So many people that I know, they say, well, I really want to go back to school and I want to get my master's degree. What do you think about that, Dr. Rob? And often I tell them, if you want to go into teaching for a living, if you want to be a university professor, probably a pretty good idea. But apart from that, getting a degree, just because you have a degree, doesn't mean that you're going to automatically get a better job. If your people skills are horrible, I don't care how many degrees you have, you're not going to get the type of job that you hope to get out there. And so if it's some certification that you need, perhaps somewhere in the computer industry, I get it. Yeah, go back to school, get it. But don't just go get another degree believing that if I can do that, then I can get the next job. I'm working with a young lady right now who has finished a doctorate. She's an awesome person. She really wants to break into the field of consulting and getting out there and helping people, individuals, executives, others with strategic planning, life goals, things like that. And she's like, I've got the degree. Okay, how do I do it? Well, you know what? How you do it is the most important thing, and your experience is far more important than the fact that you just went back and got a PhD. So, friends, what do we learn from all of this? Let's bring this to a close. Let's focus in. The world owes you nothing. Today, we choose to get out of that entitlement mentality. The world owes me nothing. I'm not going to spend my life comparing it to others. Instead, what I'm choosing to do is to figure out, how can I get on the right trajectory? How can I be successful? What are my next steps that I need to take? And I am going to get after that. The world owes me nothing, but I'm going to get after it. I'm going to earn it. I'm going to put in the effort and the work to make this happen, getting the information I need to be ultimately successful according to my standards, not somebody else's standards. Hey, this is Dr. Rob. Tomorrow, of the 13 things mentally strong people don't do, tomorrow is number 13. Mentally strong people do not expect something that a lot of other people do expect. What is that? What is the thing that mentally strong people don't expect? We're going to have to listen tomorrow, and I'll be with you then on another daily dose of growth. Until then, much love. I'm out. Hello, Leader Tribers. How in the world are you? 13 things that mentally strong people don't do. That's been our series. Today we're on number 13. Whoop, whoop. That's what I'm talking about. Little party time here. Why? Because we have been learning what mentally strong people don't do, what they do instead. And today we're wrapping it up with something that's just phenomenal. What I love, Amy Morin in her article, this comes from her Forbes article. She also has a book on this. You can get it at Amazon. And here's what she says. Number 13, mentally strong people do not expect immediate results. She says, self-growth develops slowly. Whether you're trying to shed your procrastination tendencies, by the way, I'm going to interrupt Amy here and say, if that's so, if you are a procrastinator, Just put in Mel Robbins, Robbins, in the search at leadertribe.com, and we got something fantastic on that, the 5-second rule. Now I'm going to continue with what Amy was saying. Okay, here we go. Whether you're trying to shed your procrastination tendencies or improve your marriage, expecting instant results will lead to disappointment. Think of your efforts as a marathon, not a sprint. View bumps in the road as minor setbacks rather than total roadblocks. Actually, I like the way it was said by Steve Jobs on this one. And that is that failures and setbacks, those are just inevitable cul-de-sacs on the road to success. Hey, you know what? If we're on a journey on a road to success, we're going to take some wrong turns. We're going to have to turn around. The question I have is, did you keep moving? Today we're talking about expecting immediate results. If I go to the gym and I decide I want to get into better shape, and I go and I work out really hard and I come home and I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh great, it didn't work. Why? Because I want instant results. We want everything else in an instant. I mean, come on, we're the people today who put something in the microwave oven and stand outside and go, come on, faster, faster. We want everything right now. That's not how it happens with personal growth. But if I go to the gym today and I look in the mirror and I go, yeah, that didn't work. But what if I go to the gym 4 days this week and the next week and the next week and the next week, and 8 weeks later I look in the mirror? You're going to say, hey, you know what? I look better than I used to before. So the results are slow, but they're also lasting and meaningful. They don't go away right away, just like you can't expect those results to happen to you right away. Amy continues, she says, you'll need all the mental strength that you can muster at some point in your life, whether it's the loss of a loved one, a financial hardship, a major health problem. Mental strength give you the resilience to push through the challenges. That's right, grit and resilience. Angela Duckworth, we've talked about her on here. I blogged about it, so you can look up the word grit at Leader Tribe and see that. That's the resilience and grit, same thing, same concept. You are going to need this at different places in your life. Here's my thought though. I need it every day, because otherwise I'm working on something. Forget it. I'll kind of let my mind wander. I'll want to go do something else. I'll procrastinate. I'll not get my work done. It's like, no. Stay strong. Stay focused here. How do you do that? Well, you have to develop that muscle just like everything else. People who are focused and strong, that didn't happen overnight. Amy finishes this up. She says, the great news is that everyone can strengthen his or her mental muscle. Practice being your own mental strength coach. I love that. So what if you had a mental strength coach? And this is somebody who is just a coach in your life to help you a little bit every day. She says, practice being your own mental strength coach. How do you do that? You pay attention to areas in which you're doing well and figure out where you need to improve, and you create opportunities. Friends, that's what you do. You create little opportunities for growth in your life, and then you just challenge yourself to become a little bit better today than you were yesterday. Hey, I have a friend named Dave, and he's helping me learn a bunch of material that I need to learn for something. And he's fantastic. One of the things he encouraged me, he says, hey, when you're talking in your throat, it sounds a little scratchy. How much water have you been drinking? And then he said, here's your water plan. And he puts me on this plan as far as drinking more water. It has made unbelievable difference in my life, not just in my throat, but I feel so much better. I can't even tell you. And so I'm drinking now 4 liters of water a day, and that's working for me. I'm kind of a big guy, that works. And so I just get up and I can chug a liter of water, and that just kind of gets me going in the day. So by 6 in the morning, I already want to have had a liter of water. Around 9, I'll start sipping and drink another liter, noon, and then 3. And I'm just telling you, just the mental and physical benefits of doing that. That was just sort of an aside of all the other stuff he's helping me with. But I thought, my goodness, I feel so much better when I do this. So if you need to start drinking more water, how about this as a goal? If I normally don't drink enough water, try to remember to have 1 glass of water more per day than I've been having lately. You don't have to go crazy and do all of this at once, but those type of small incremental goals. And on this one, You can expect semi-immediate results. I mean, within 3 or 4 days, I was feeling much better just based on that. And so that's pretty good as far as the immediate results. Most things in your life, though, you can't expect those immediate results. You begin working on them. You see a little bit of progress. Again, we go right back to it's not whether you're successful right now. What matters is the trajectory that you are on. Mentally strong people, they don't expect immediate results. They know this is going to be work. They know that this is going to have to happen over and over and over again, and that's okay. So the only question at that point is, did I do that little thing in my life that I need to do to continue getting better? And so that's how I am wrapping up today and wrapping up this series. What is that little thing in your life that you need to do today to get better? That little thing, what is it? And so let me ask you one really quick question as we close. Are you ready? Have you done that yet today? If the answer is yes, go whoop, whoop, rejoice, have a great time, and go like, hey, I did it. It wasn't big, but I checked it off the list. Do it again tomorrow, the next day, the next day. Get on that positive trajectory. Life is going to be better for you. Speaking of life, life is awesome. One of the reasons that I feel that way is because of you, my Leader Tribe family out there. I hope that you're having an awesome day and a great week. Much love. I'm out. Hello, Leader Tribers. How in the world are you? I trust you're doing fantastic today. I am so excited to be back with you. We've just finished that long series on the 13 things that mentally strong people don't do. I've had so much fun recording that. I wanted to follow that up just 2 quick days before we end this week and jump into something new next week, talking about conversations I've had with people who actually exemplify those qualities that we've been talking about. I've had 3 incredible conversations in the last week or so, one with a guy named Paul, one with a guy named Travis, one with a guy named Joshua. And so let me exemplify this. I'm going to start with Paul. When you think about the mentally strong and the 13 things that mentally strong things don't do, Paul would have fallen on that list of he actually does probably about half of those. So had some really bad habits in his life and things that he's been trying to work through. And because of the research and some relationships, we got to have conversations about this. And here you got a guy, and he's one of those guys who just kind of says, man, if somebody will just give me a chance, I could really do something with my life. And I find out as I give those types of people a chance in business opportunities or something else, about half of them are liars. Okay, maybe that's a little bit too strong. Maybe I wouldn't say they are liars, but here's what they are. They are way overestimating either A, their own skills, or B, how hard work really is to get something done in life. Let me give you a quick example on that. Most people who think that way are people who are sort of polished in their talk, and they can sell things. They can sell ice cubes to Eskimo. They're kind of slick and quick talkers. And that is a skill, when used correctly, can be really good, but only by 2 types of people. A, the type who can back it up, and B, people who are honest. The reason is that if you have those types of skills, I mean, bottom line, if you have those types of skills, you can talk your way into stuff and talk your way out of stuff. But as we see, is there are a ton of people who have those skills who end up in jail because they're always talking their way in and out and around, but they can't back it up with telling the truth or coming through on the commitments. Because they're good, they've realized all of their life they've been able to get away with things to make up an excuse because they could talk their way out of the reason they didn't get things done. But if you have somebody who is honest and will back it up, man, those guys are going to come through for you. And so when people say, man, if you would just give me a chance, I find out about half of them, they can talk well, but they can't back it up, or they start getting dishonest and not owning things when it goes bad. The others, man, if you just give them a chance, they can really kill it. So let me talk about, again, my friend Paul. Guess what? He's sort of right in between there. He's one of those guys who actually does have some skills, but he's never had anyone who actually believed in him and was willing to give him the chance, especially after he screwed up. Now, as somebody who has messed up many times in life, I tend to give people a second chance, or a third chance or a fourth chance, but I refuse to be taken advantage of. And so now having a conversation with this young man about mentally strong people and successful people, one of the things that was just amazing, or that he hadn't really put together in his mind, was that everything he has pretty much in his life is either an asset or a liability. And so if he has a used car, and his used car, all of a sudden he's treating it lousy and he's not checking the oil and he doesn't take care of it, and he had this asset that was worth $2,000, but now it's only worth $1,400 because it needs some repairs or something else, that basically he just stole $600 from himself because he wasn't willing to do something that I could have paid him $50 to do. I said, I'll give you $50 if you go and do these things. He would have gone, done. Yet he didn't do them on his own. It's either A, he didn't know that he had to do it and he wasn't willing to find out, or B, he knew it, but he put it off, something along those lines. So the beauty of this is getting to have a long, in-depth conversation and sort of what I would call a come to Jesus party, where we could really talk through things in a way that made sense to him, and to say, hey, there's one thing, one part of life about being mentally strong, but even if you know the right things to do, how do you do them? I took him right back to something that I've talked to you about recently, and that was Tim Ferriss's book, and the whole idea of a 1% improvement in any direction really compounds over time. If I can improve 1%, the types of things that are who I am today, if I can get 1% better today and then 1% better on that tomorrow, things happen. Here's the illustration I used. If you ever come to the McClellan household, I've got quite a garage. Now, when we built our house here in the Atlanta area, I only had sort of a rule over a couple areas when we were designing the house to be built. One of them was the garage, and then the other was the kitchen. And so in the kitchen, I always wanted a kitchen with a big island. What I say is an island the size of Kauai. And of course, I'm exaggerating, but we do have a big island. The reason that we have this big island is we love having people over. And when we have people over, our favorite thing to do is sit around the big kitchen island, eat together, laugh together, get to know each other. And so even though our house might not be spectacular, we do have this kind of big, oversized kitchen island for a house our size. And then in our garage, I said, I want a 2-car garage, but I want extra room on both sides of the car so that when you're getting out of the cars, it's not like when you have both cars in there, it's super cramped and you can't get anything else. So we built it about 4 feet longer than it needed to be and about 6 feet wider than it needed to be, and have a 10 or 12 foot ceiling or something in there. So it's like a big room. It is not a man cave, something like that. But along the wall at the front of the garage, when you're pulling the cars in, I have my workbench. Well, my workbench is, I don't know, probably 15 feet long. And I have all my tools. I'm a fix-it guy. I love getting out there and tinkering around, putting on some old oldies music. But guess what? I had not been putting my tools away, and my workbench looked horrible. There was stuff everywhere, and it's just, hey, grab a tool. I know sort of where it is. It's down on that end. Use it, fix stuff, put it back. And so I decided I'm going to do 1% better on my workbench every day. And so I will go out and say, I'm going to spend 60 seconds cleaning up one little part of my workbench or putting away a couple of tools. And all I do is do that for 5 days in a row. Now I've only got 5 minutes in, but guess what? 60 seconds in, I'm like, hey, I've got 30 more seconds. I can also do this and this. And the workbench is getting a little cleaner every day. And then the only goal is any new tools that you borrow or that you take down, you have to put them up. And all of a sudden, my workbench is clean, and I don't want anyone else messing up my workbench all of a sudden. Why? It wasn't that hard. It was just doing a little bit every day to get it back to where it should have been. And then maintenance is easy, but you have to have a new mentality. I just shared that one illustration with this friend named Paul and said, hey, dude, we're all in process. I'm doing this, but what is the 1% area? Well, the dude will not stop texting me. I'm serious. Every single day is like, okay, here's what I'm doing with the car. Hey, here's what I learned at work. Hey, here's what I learned. I'm making these 1%. And the dude is on fire. He is so excited about his personal growth. Why? Because he is going ahead 1%. He is not mentally strong. He's going to get better, but he's on the right trajectory. Hey, Leader Tribers, you know I love you. You know I'll tell you the truth in love. And I'll let you know of all of my own failures. But here's the one thing I have for you today. Are you making a 1% improvement? If so, way to go. That's awesome. And if not, where can you start today? Hey, this is Dr. Rob. Hope you're enjoying the Leader Tribe podcast. Tomorrow we'll end this week. Much love. I'm out. Hello, Leader Tribers. How in the world are you? I trust you're doing fantastic today. Great day to be alive, to be excited about life. I definitely am, even though I've been a little overwhelmed recently. I think I shared with you that I was getting away for a couple of weeks, and we did that. And some really good things came out of it. But I thought in terms of my podcast, do I want to keep going? How do I want to do it? Do I want it to be the same? Where do I want to go with that? And I also thought in terms of my blog and some business opportunities I have, and one business that I'm helping buy and another business I'm helping sell, and some of my work in the mergers and acquisition field and in the organizational clarity field. And how is all of that coming together, and how can I maximize that just to be able to add value to as many people as possible? With me, as you've probably figured out over the years, it's not for me even trying to say, how can I make as much money as possible? I just want to add value to people. And I think if I do that, the money will take care of itself. And so we've really had a lot of fun, and it was so good for me to have these 13 things mentally strong people do not do, and then to have that as the background where I was going in to say, if I'm going to be my strongest and best, what are some things I need to do to reorganize my life? And so yesterday I talked about a conversation with Paul. Today I want to follow up with two other conversations, one with Joshua and one with Travis. And these are guys who are friends of mine who I just love, and they're great. And I have some things as a follow-up from what we've been doing to show the application of that in their life. Before I do that, I want to go over the 13 things, the things that mentally strong people don't do. And every one of these we did a separate podcast on, brought in new resources so you can go back and find them. Starting with podcast number 182, 13 things mentally strong people don't do. Number one, they don't waste time feeling sorry for themselves. Number two, they don't give away their power. By what's meant by that is they don't feel like a victim, like I've got nothing. No, you have something. Don't give it away. Number three, they don't shy away from change or challenge. Number four, they don't squander their energy on things they can't control. One of the things that I help do is I help business owners sell their business for maximum value. Well, it's amazing to me that business owners, when you talk about the timing of the market and the timing of yourself, that has a lot to do with your final price that you're going to get. But guess what? You can't control that as a business owner. What you can do is sell during the right markets and not sell during the downturns, and know where you are in the market. And I can help people to do that. But as far as the market itself, that's something they have no control over. Helping people to accept the things they can't control. Number five, you can't worry about pleasing everyone. Number six, you cannot fear taking risks. You have to take risks to pretty much anywhere in life these days, but to keep moving ahead. And it's really more of a fear of failure more than anything else. And then what I love is I love failing. You know why? Then I wake up the next morning and I'm like, hey, I'm still alive, still have opportunities that failed, but I learned some lessons, and you can go on. You have to keep learning from your failures. John Maxwell taught me so much about that. He's written 2 books on it. I recommend both of them. Number 7, you can't dwell on the past. Number 8, mentally strong people don't repeat their same mistakes over and over again. What happens is so often we get ashamed of something we've done in the past, and so we just kind of get into our bubble and we start having this pattern where we're repeating those mistakes. Don't do that. Great episode on that. That was episode number 191. Number 9, they don't resent other people's success. Rejoice with the people who are doing well, and don't sit there and go like, I don't know why it happened to them. It should have happened to me. I work a lot hard. Oh yeah, like that's really going to help you in life. Come on. Get over yourself. Okay. Have to listen to that episode. Number 10, they don't give up after the first failure. Number 11, they don't fear alone time. And that one was a biggie for me. I talked through some of my own vulnerability there. Number 12, they don't feel like the world owes them something. And number 13, they don't expect immediate results. Hey, two quick follow-ups. First is a friend of mine named Travis. I've talked about Travis before. If I do end up switching the podcast format in the new year and doing some interviews, 100% chance this is one of the guys I would interview. He has an outstanding podcast out there. You can find it at buildyournetwork.co. That's .co, not .com. buildyournetwork.co. And Travis and I were talking through several opportunities that he has in business and in ways that he has helped me. And I love learning from this guy. But just in our conversation, 100% of the things that Travis is doing in life, he takes full responsibility for. He doesn't think anything's coincidence or chance. Hey, we all want good luck, but you work as if 100% of it depends on us. And then if God blesses it, or if you have good luck or coincidences line up, good for them. But you have to do your part. And Travis is always, always, always willing to do that. What I loved about him is we're looking at one thing that he was considering as an opportunity. And here's what Travis was saying. Hey, I don't care where I have to start in the company. I just want to kind of get in with that company. And if there's some upward mobility there, if there's opportunities to come in at some of those lower levels, but if you excel in those, they're still going to reward you for that financially. I don't mind coming in at a lower level because I really want to be able to make a difference long term. And when I heard that, I'm thinking, here's a guy who has bought and sold companies, who has just been with some of the top entrepreneurs, interviewing the top people in the world as far as leadership and online entrepreneurship and marketing. And he's still saying, I'm willing to put in the work. How can I do it? I love that about him. I just want to tell you, if just hearing that little bit about Travis right there inspires you, ask yourself right now, hey, where's an area where I can do that, where I can go back and say, I'm really willing to put in the work. Hey, I just realized I'm holding a pen in my hand and I keep clicking it. So if you hear this noise, that's not something wrong with the microphone or the podcast. That's just me goofing around here as I'm talking into the microphone, holding a pen and sharing these stories. Second story is about a guy named Joshua. Joshua is somebody who had encouraged me a long time that I need to be podcasting. I need to be doing some of these things. He even kicked my butt for me, held me accountable, and I still couldn't get off my rear and do some of the things that I needed to do because I had so many other opportunities at the time. I always had an excuse built in. But he and I have remained friends. He's been through a couple transformations in his own career path, even as in the short time that he and I have known each other in the last couple of years. And they're all good. I mean, he excelled. He was really good at what he did. He's awesome in real estate, but he really has this sort of entrepreneurial heart, helping people. And then these other opportunities come along for him because he always wants to go and add value. When we were talking recently, he shared something with me along the lines of, I still really want to find my ultimate purpose in life and just pursue that with everything that is within me and with a passion. And he said, maybe I'll have to get to heaven someday and say, hey, God, what was my purpose anyway? Here is what I love about Joshua and what I learned from him. He is so mentally strong in these areas. To him, he's not sitting around twiddling his thumb saying, but I don't know if this is it. I don't know if that is it. He is out there busting his rear, creating opportunities, working hard, and doing an awesome job, even when he has some uncertainty in his life. Friends, uncertainty paralyzes you, and you have to have the types of people who can come along and say, hey, that's great. I appreciate that, but you still have to get up in the morning, and the assassins failed. You're still alive, and if you're alive today, you have work to do, and you are valuable, and let's get going. Joshua is that type of motivator to me, but I see it in his life that this guy is just such a success in life. He might not feel like it all the time. He might not see all of the financial rewards he had happen, but he is a total stud, and I'm just privileged to be around people like that and know people like that. Again, hearing Joshua's story, is there an area of life where you've had uncertainty and that has paralyzed you a little bit? And if so, today, start taking some steps, make a decision, move forward. And even if you're moving the wrong direction, you'll figure that out. But as long as you haven't made a decision and started moving, it's going to sit out there and weigh on you. Hey, this is your friend. This is the Robster. This is Dr. Rob. This is Uncle Rob. This is the guy who will tell you the truth. I'm telling you, get over that uncertainty. Start taking some steps and you will figure it out. But until you start taking those steps, you're going to continue to have the energy drain. Hey, this is, in fact, your daily dose of growth. I trust you're doing fantastic. Tomorrow you can get the weekly dose of growth. Listen to that back to back to back to back. But until then, know this. For you, I have much love, and I'm out.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Leader Tribe podcast. For all the free bonuses and growth articles, join the tribe. It's free. Just head on over to leadertribe.com to sign up, and we'll see you tomorrow for another daily dose of growth.